Yo, what is going on, guys? Carnage back here again, and it is currently raining, so I do apologize if you guys, do hear all the rain and stuff. But, as you can tell by the video title, I do have a brand new review of something I am super excited to review. Uh, you can't see the top of the box, but, that doesn't really matter. It's showing the main part. This is the Punisher 2-pack, and I got this the same day I got this Moon Knight, which, very awesome Moon Knight again. Very happy to, finally have it. But I've been really wanting this 2-pack specifically for the Punisher. Didn't really care too much about Bushwhacker. And looking at the back, I do love this. This is very badass. I also do like that it does show, like drawing inspiration type stuff. And also 2 amazing covers from Punisher War Journal. But drawing inspiration from War Journal 12 and 13, and then it's just saying the same thing in, basically a couple other languages, which, let me just say, really love that they based it off, the actual comics, because this is one of the best Punisher, designs, I think, other than, like the, classic one, like, white, go-go boots and shit like that. But yeah, let me just move this forward just a smidge. And yes, I do all these. And, we'll make adjustments as I go along. But here's the Punisher out of the packaging and, Bushwhacker right here. I am going to do Bushwhacker first, just get him out of the way. Just because, he's kind of the one that people don't really care about. I mean, I'll still keep him in my collection just because of the fact that, he's just a villain, and, can't have too many villains. But, yeah, Bushwhacker, not as bad as I thought he would be. Like, I mean, he does share a handful of parts with the Luke Cage figure that was released a while ago. Like, mostly legs, and I can definitely tell these are reused. But he does have, a very cool, couple accessories. One of them he actually has on in the box, which kind of looks like something very inappropriate if you, ask any man ever. And then he also comes with this pointing gun. And for those of you who do not know who Bushwhacker is, he's basically, a character that can, what's the best way I can put it? He basically makes his body into weapons. That's basically it. He was like gosh, I don't even know if it was Weapon X or, the U.S. government that did it to him. But, sorry, forgot to put him back up there. But, yeah, they basically made him into a weapon, and, yeah. And, I mean, he didn't come with really anything. He comes with a left gun hand, which doesn't make sense why he has, gun hands if he can turn his body into guns. But, can't really say anything. And I do kind of notice that he does have some similar parts to a different Punisher, the Rider's Wave one that came with the Viking helmet, specifically the arms and the legs. But, didn't really feel like getting that Punisher out for this review. And he is kind of basic. Like, I mean, if you didn't want to use him as a Bushwhacker, you could definitely, cut the ponytail off and use this head as like an Eddie Brock head. Because this looks a lot like Eddie Brock, in my opinion. Just really fucked up. Which, going back to his face being kind of, jacked up, it does kind of look a little Deadpool-esque on the side, which I really do like. And especially, like, all the detailing put into that. Like, this is a very detailed figure. One that people won't really like, but I mean, they definitely did a lot with it. Especially with the wife beater underneath. I believe that's a wife beater anyway. But I mean, yeah, still very cool. Really good detailing. And this is very well sculpted, I will say. And then the legs are just, like I said, reused. He does have pinless joints on his arms, though. And I really do like these gloved hands. They're pretty cool. And I do believe you can, port, shooting effects out of that. I do not really have any with me at the moment to test that, but, if you want to try it, I recommend. He can look up decent amount. He does have double jointed elbows. He does have wrist swivel, which does work for this. He can move his arm out about that high. He does have upper arm rotation. He does have an ab crunch that goes that far forward, which is pretty good, and that far back. He can kick out that far. Double jointed knees, upper leg rotation, and he does have a, ankle hinge, which a little bit, I thought it would be more inhibited by the cuff of his pants, but I mean, I was mistaken. And yeah, that's basically it for him. No one really cares about him too much. Now let's get on to the one that everyone's been wanting to, see, and that's the main man himself, the Punisher. But before I do get into that, I do kind of want to show off this really cool effect that this 2-pack came with. It's an explosion effect, and you can see bits of shrapnel from one of the other accessories on it as well, which this is very badass. I love this so much. And going on to the next accessory, which kind of goes along with that, he does come with a hand grenade. And this is the only time I can think of where they've released a hand grenade with a Marvel Legends figure, which is phenomenal. I love that so much. And I really wish they would give us more Punisher-related stuff, but I mean, I understand why. Now going on to his pew-pews, he comes with 4 of them, which, I mean, kind of wish he would have come with a few more, but I mean, can't complain. Very badass. My favorite one being this pistol. Like, this pistol, definitely one of my favorite accessories that he's come with. Very cool, very badass. Do kind of wish it would have come with, like, that little port that the Target exclusive Black Widow came with. That would have been badass. He also does come with this machine gun. I believe this is a machine gun anyway. I'm not too well versed on guns, but this one looks badass. Really menacing with it. He does come with one of my personal favorite guns, an Uzi, which I know also came with a different Punisher figure. I think it might have also been the Rider's Wave one, which, like I mentioned, also have that one, but, didn't really, care to, bring it out just because it's kind of the weaker of the Punisher figures, in my personal opinion. And then, one of the guns that's been reused quite the most, but also one of the most detailed at the same time, is this assault rifle. And I'm mostly saying that just because it's very, like it's kind of weathered right there, and I really do like that they gave it the army stock. That's pretty cool. Pretty basic, just made of one solid color with, like, just painted, tan on the back and on the magazine. And it is basically just a reuse / repaint of this one, which came with the Netflix Punisher. I think this one came with the Netflix Punisher anyway. I might be mistaken about that. And then he also does come with 4 sets of hands, which is badass. Really love that. This hand he actually comes with in the box, an opened hand, so you can basically just kind of hold the grenade. Like, it's a little weird grenade holding wise, just because you kind of have to angle it weirdly, kind of like that. But I mean, it does hold it, so that is pretty cool. He also does come with this finger gun one, which also came with, I want to say this is a reuse for / retooling from the one that came with Spider-Shot, the Assassin Spider-Man. And then he also did come with these 2 fisted hands, which are just, plain black fisted hands. And along with that, he also did come with 2 gun holding hands, which he is currently, wearing. And then he also does come with this very amazing screaming head. Really do love this. This is very badass. And yeah, let's just get right into him. I know I've been kind of glazing him up this entire video / my Moon Knight review, but let me just say, this Moon Knight, or Punisher, I almost said 3 different characters, is genuinely the best Marvel Legends Punisher I think I've ever, had the experience of, posing around / playing with. Genuinely just such a fun character to pose around. Not my personal favorite outfit. I do like the one that has a little bit more white on it, but I mean, that's just me. And, gosh, let me just say, I really do like this bandana look. That is still one of my favorite looks for the Punisher. Starting off, he looks up that high, looks down that low. And something I will say about both heads, they do have very good 5 o'clock shadow on them. It picks it up. But very, very good 5 o'clock shadow. Love that. Also do love the detailing. Like, mine's kind of a little, I don't know what's wrong with it. It's more like, I don't know if I would say it's chipped off. It's more like the paint just kind of didn't get there. But it's like weirdly, equally, spread out, kind of. And I don't know if these ones are because of, this or whatnot. But I mean, it just kind of looks a little bit like battle damage, in my opinion. And also that right there. I don't know if that's part of it or if that's just, just some missing paint, because it's also slightly right there too. But I'm pretty sure that's just because, it's intentional. Going on to the back, not really much. There is detailing on the belt, and this is part of the belt too. And if you do move that out of the way, you just see pure white abs, which phenomenal work on this as well. And yeah, I also do really like this holster too. This is a very badass holster. I know you can probably remove this too if you heat it up and pop one of the arms out. I personally will not do that just because he looks amazing with it, in my opinion. Going on to articulation, arm moves up that high. He does have, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, which, trust me, I've been doing that quite a bit. And then he also does have the wrist hinge, like, every other Marvel Legend. He does have an upper, ab twist. He can lean back that far with his ab crunch, and he can lean, if it wasn't because of this, he would be able to lean further forward, but he can go that far forward with it. He also, I don't think he has a waist swivel. He does not, which, kind of a bummer, but still genuinely just amazing in general. He can kick out that far, which is pretty decent. He can kick back that far, which, pretty average for most male Marvel Legends. He does have double jointed knee, ankle pivot, upper calf rotation, and then, upper thigh rotation. And let me just say, I love this figure. This figure is definitely my favorite Marvel Legend I think I've ever had the experience of owning. And just because he needs to have them, I'm putting the guns back in his hands. Just because, he's just genuinely the most badass thing ever. Gosh, let me just say, so grateful I got this, because this is genuinely just the greatest Punisher I think I've ever had the experience of owning. And, just for comparisons, here they are next to each other. And I don't really know who else Bushwhacker has fought other than Eddie Brock, specifically him as Carnage, because that's the only book I can remember with him in it at the moment. But here we have Punisher next to one of his Thunderbolt members in Deadpool. One of my favorite Deadpools too, by the way. And I love how these two look together. Just so badass. And if not for the fact I know this video would be going on way longer, I would grab way more figures to compare him to, but I'm just grabbing the ones that are already right next to me. And I do not have a ton of Punishers. I just have this one, which these two look amazing next to each other. Really do want to get that 3-pack Daredevil, but I think they might be re-releasing it eventually with the Wave 2 of the Secret Wars stuff. And then here he is next to genuinely my favorite Punisher for the longest time, the Walgreens exclusive one. And if you guys were curious, yes, the heads can pop off, and they do work very well on each other. Granted, the look doesn't really, do excessive amounts on this one with the Walgreens head, in my opinion, but this head on the Walgreens body, just so badass, dude. I love that. And if not for the fact that this was the better body, I would, you know, keep the bandana head on the Walgreens body. And going on to the next character. Here he is next to the oldest Punisher I have in my collection. This is the, I don't remember the exact name of the box set, but this is the box set Punisher. The Urban, I don't remember what it is. I know it's Urban something. But, you know, these outfits do look very, very close to each other. Just, you know, this one has the go-go boots and the white gloves. But, I mean, other than that, like, they're basically the exact same. And, you know, no bandana on that one. Just another one I wanted to see. Here he is next to the Netflix, and I'm saying Netflix because that's what, you know, this suit was identified as for the longest time. We have him next to that Daredevil, which I'm very happy they're remaking, you know, this one. And then here he is next to, you know, the Moon Knight I just reviewed. And, like, I love these two next to each other, so I kind of want to keep them next to each other. And then for the final comparison, we have him next to, you know, another amazing Punisher. Really excited for the new one that's coming out of this one. And, like, I tried, you know, swapping the heads off camera, but, you know, just didn't look really good with either of them. Well, I mean, if I remember correctly, I believe, you know, this one worked the best on this. Like, this looks badass. Like, this is a phenomenal figure with that. But, I mean, you know, Jon Bernthal's head on this one doesn't really work too well, in my opinion. Like, it seems a little small for the body. But, you know, this head just works well with this body. I mean, the head might be a little big, but, I mean, you know, works pretty well, in my opinion. Whoops. And let me just say, I will be more than likely keeping this Punisher, like, this the entirety of the time, just because it's badass like that. But yeah, I know I did kind of center this review mostly, and I repeat, mostly around the Punisher, but that's just because that Punisher is genuinely the most amazing figure I think I've ever had the experience of owning / getting to pose around. Really do love it. But before I get off on, you know, trying to compare him next to, you know, weird characters like Silver Surfer, Thanos, and, you know, the Sentry, just gonna, you know, leave the review off right there. So thank you guys for watching. I genuinely really do mean it. I appreciate every single one of you who, you know, has been watching my videos. I'm up to, 556 subscribers. So we're getting close to 600, which is mind-boggling to me. Because, like, 6 months ago, I just hit 500, which I still can't believe I even made it that far. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you again for watching, guys. It genuinely does mean the world to me that you guys do sit and watch my content. And, yeah. I will catch you guys in the next video, so follow me on Instagram at uncle_carnage. Like, comment, subscribe, and yeah. Not much else to say other than I'll see you later. Thank you guys, and I will see you. Peace.